We're live, pal.
We're live, pal. Can't do it again. Hello, welcome to everyone for joining us. I know we're running a tad bit late, but that's the way it is when you're independent. Happy 4th of July to everybody. Hopefully you still have your fingers and hands, face attached. I guess you should, because it's not dark out, so you shouldn't be firing off any fireworks.
It's dark here.
It's dark there.
It's dark here.
Actually, you'd be safe over there, right? It's raining, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been in France all week. The weather was lovely. It was just so hot while I was over there. Sorry if people can hear noise in the background because it's now a storm over here. And I've also got a 5-year-old running around crazy. But yeah, I was in France for like a week. The weather was lovely. Since I've come back here, the weather's been shit. And it's literally a 90-minute boat trip from England to France.
Wait, you took a boat?
Yeah, so ferry. I don't know what you call them over there.
Ferry, sure.
Yeah, so we get it from like Dover, which is like south of London. You take that, it takes you to Calais. So it's about 90 minutes, I think. And then we had a 2.5-hour drive to our resort. And and then we was there. But last Friday when we was coming home, we set it off 9 a.m. Time we got to the boat. The boat didn't leave till 3. Got to the boat, on the boat, stuck in traffic, didn't get home till like 10 p.m. So it was like a 13-hour journey.
Wow. That's quite the quest. We all had a good time.
Not like Van Damme's quest.
Wow. That's true.
Did I tell you that my eldest finally watched it?
The Quest? Did he like it? I thought you showed it not too long ago. Didn't you show it to him not too long ago?
Yeah, I forgot because I forgot when the last time we did the podcast.
I know. That's true.
Honestly, on cafe, every message, where's Paul? I said, I'll be back soon. Be patient.
Once the carny figures things out.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm wearing sunscreen. I don't have makeup on. I know it looks rather shiny, but it's sunscreen. It's already getting in my eyes. So for those of you in America, make sure you got your sunscreen on. It's going to be a hot one. It already is. I love the background that you got there with Team America. That's actually one of my dad's. That's one of his favorite movies. We saw that in the theater together.
Oh, cool.
And it's a near perfect film.
It is. It's like definitely it's on the reason I got today. Obviously, America's Day, Independence Day, 4th of July, but.
Right.
It is a near perfect movie. It's something definitely on the schedule one day do a review. I loved the opening because the making of Team America was a nightmare, and
right.
They got their money from Paramount or Universal, whoever funded it. I think it might have been Paramount. And the opening scene is like the old wooden doll puppets you would remember from like Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet, and they showed that to like the executives, and the executives was scared. It's like, this is what we spent our money on, but then obviously it opens up to the movie. But my favorite character is the Matt Damon character because originally the Matt Damon puppet, the character was meant to be like a really intelligent character, but when the sculpt came out, sorry for using this language, Matt Stone or Trey Parker said when we got the puppet, he looked mentally challenged. So that's why we just had him saying Matt Damon.
Funny because I was talking to one of my good friends about this movie the other day, and our favorite scene, one of our favorite scenes is when he's in the alleyway all fucked up, and that random lady pops out of the window. She's like, "You gave up on life, didn't you?"
I've been in that position many times.
Oh, popping out of the window or in the alley?
In the alley.
Yeah. Yeah, same here.
No, there's so many scenes. Like, they're really good friends with George Clooney, Matt Stone, Trey Parker.
I didn't know that.
So, yeah, they're good friends. He's done a couple of appearances in South Park. George Clooney has, and apologise for the noise. Me 5-year-old's going crazy. It's his birthday next week.
Man, marriage, free, freedom.
But
Don't apologize.
yeah, they parodied George Clooney in it, and afterwards they apologised to him. They said we're so sorry, and he said I would have been more pissed off with you if you didn't put me in that movie. The best story is Sean Penn. So
he got mad, didn't he?
Oh, well, I mean, Sean Penn's just a cunt anyway. But we're not monetized, so we can say what we want. Oh, by the way, everyone, thanks for joining us. 35 of you in the chat. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed, please do so and hit the like button. And if you've got any questions, please put them down below and we'll get to them. So this is before the movies come out. They said we've wrote in the script. He said, we've done most of the filming and stuff. But Sean Penn must have heard that he was going to be in the movie. And so Sean Penn's character is like, I've been to Iraq. There's slaughter over there and things like that. So I think it was what do you call it? Trey Parker. He said we got a message, we got an email or a letter from Sean Penn, and he just started doing this nonsense rambling, and all of a sudden in the letter it was like, "You're crazy. I've been to Iraq," and he said we started laughing because we actually put that in the movie before he actually wrote us this message. So. Oh, it's an amazing movie, and the soundtrack.
You got like Janine Garofalo. Is it Samuel Jackson? I think he's in it.
Yeah.
Tim Robbins,
Susan Sarandon, Alec Baldwin. Oh. Alec Baldwin, the greatest actor of all time.
Right, Film Actors Guild. The head of the Film Actors Guild.
And the funniest thing is, it's so ahead of its time because the actors are legit like that now.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I mean, South Park in general, like I honestly believe, like the way the world's gone, we're living in a South Park episode.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely the smartest show around with their ability to make fun of their social commentaries second to none. Yeah. And the fact that they spit these shows out weekly and they're pretty much uploading them to air that they're uploading it like usually sometimes that morning and supposed to air it that night or that day. So it's really impressive. I'm sure you saw that episode where they were scrambling to get the episode written and then they rewrote it and it was like literally uploading it the morning of. And so yeah, that's really impressive stuff. They can
they're geniuses, and because they've been around for so long now, they can't get cancelled.
Yeah, it's like a badge of honor to get made fun of on there,
Oh yeah, I mean, because there was the recent episode. Well, I say recent, it's a few months ago now. Prince Harry and Meghan.
Oh right.
And they were so desperate to be celebrities because she was like a C-list actress, and he's just an idiot. And they got honestly demolished in the South Park episodes. Like, we want privacy. Well, not privacy at all. So it's like they want privacy, and they're playing the drums outside Kyle's window. We want privacy.
Wasn't she like? I thought she signed on to some recording label or something, or.
She's. Someone said to me. Because she's just a liar. I know this is a movie podcast, but she's just like a blatant liar looking for attention. And I said, do you know what's the difference between Meghan and Kate? So Kate's married to William, like the future king. He's next in line. Someone said to me, what? I said, Kate's a future queen. I said, Meghan's just a drama queen. They actually legit made up for that. They put a story out, their publicist, that they was in a high-speed pursuit followed by paparazzi in New York City. Paul, you've been to New York. You've been to New York many times, I'd imagine. What's the traffic like in New York?
It's horrible. It's it's about what you would expect.
Yeah.
And yeah, the thing that always kind of bugged me about New York was, they would have this park across from Madison Square Garden, and it was always just astronomical in terms of the parking fees. And I mean, it's an honor to work in New York, and especially at Madison Square Garden. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of it's how you see it, in the movies in terms of just constant people, traffic, and then in the summer it gets hotter than hell. I mean, because it's just a giant concrete jungle, So, yeah, it's pretty nuts for sure. But yeah, thank you for everyone also who's joining us. Thank you, the comments and everything. I think we've got a lad from Dublin in there.
Good.
We got. I'm just taking a quick look here.
Well, Chris, do you think there'll be a time where movies, basically all movies, do not have any physical voice actors and it'll all be AI and CGI? I mean, the way they're acting these days, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, no, I hope not. I hope not. Yeah, it seems like things are kind of going that way. I guess they don't have to pay AI to write stuff, so they'll be like, AI will never go on strike. So that could be a big problem. So we got Rex Gardner in the house. We got our buddy Brandon Lee, fine actor. Jesus Saves, I think, from out in, is it New Orleans? Did I see that a second ago? Yeah, New Orleans, right on. Nolans, Cafe du Monde. Get those beignets. Did you have any beignets when you were in France? That's probably an Americanized or a Cajun. I don't know.
What do you call them? Baguettes?
No, it's very different. The beignets are like a fried donut pastry with powdered sugar all over them, and you blow it on to your friend, and it gets all in their clothes. They try to knock it off, and it rubs into the fibers. And
I know what I mean. Yeah, we just call them donuts.
Well, I mean donuts, but then there's beignets. They are different. It's a type of donut.
Yeah, but, it's weird because so they have crepes, and over here I've always called them pancakes.
Okay, yeah, the thin pancakes. Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. You have to say, I love crepes. Crepes? What the hell are crepes? Oh man, some really thin pancakes. Oh man, I love those. Yeah, maybe we should all get some afterwards. Yeah, it's a good idea. Right. Yeah. But okay, I was it. I don't want to break your arm, Ricky Bobby, but I am a man of my words.
Oh man, such a great actor. That's a fun film. Very American movie as well. Ricky Bobby, Talladega Nights.
We invented the doggy position with doggy style. We invented the missionary. You're welcome.
I'm about to crack open an 8% cider here. I can't drink beer because of the hops and the wheat, so I have to drink cider. And I'm trying this Angry Orchard dark cherry apple right now. I think it says it's 8%, which is the most. Most of the Angry Orchard is like 5%. Well, out there, y'all have like I know one time Rich Swan and I were in England together, and we had hooch. Does that sound right? It's like
yeah. It's like a lemon one.
Yeah, hooch. And then there's God, what are some of the other ciders y'all have out there?
I mean, I'm not a big cider drinker.
Yeah.
Say, but trying to think of some, but I like apple cider and stuff like that. But like, I'm not a big cider drinker at all. If you said to me what beer is this, I'd be like, yeah, it's that one.
Well, I mean, y'all have so many wonderful spirits and beers and stuff, so I don't blame you. But yeah, this isn't bad. They tend to all kind of start to taste the same, really. But
What do you think to Batista's acting skills compared to Rock and Cena?
dude, you kidding me? Wrong Side of Town movie's badass. Have you seen Wrong Side of Town?
I haven't seen that one.
It's one of his earlier movies. Well, it's actually a Rob Van Dam movie. Funny enough, Rob.
Yeah.
But the director loved Batista so much that Batista's actually on the cover of it with like two guns, and then Rob, who's actually the lead character, the lead actor, is kind of off to the side, and then Ja Rule's off to the other side. And Batista's in the movie for maybe 5 minutes, but I mean, he's the best part of the movie. And also features Randall Reeder, who people might know as the cock meat sandwich guy from Hell and Kumar 2. But no, overall, I mean, all jokes aside, and Wrong Side of Town is people will have to watch it and judge for themselves. But I think Batista's, I think he's an awesome actor. I just saw actually just recently that he's signed on to do a movie, I think directed by J.J. Perry.
Oh, is that the one with Scott Adkins going to be in? Yeah, McIntyre's going to be in it as well.
McIntyre, Marco Zerrar, Daniel Bernhardt.
Oh, cool. I know Scott Adkins is in it.
Scott Adkins, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of Batista, the guy. I always really enjoyed being around him, and he was always a class act. Great guy, fun to go out and hang out with. And
have you seen Man with the is it the Man with the Iron Fists? Is it that one?
No, I didn't see that one. Was that the Raza or whatever? I think he.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Second one too, didn't they?
I haven't seen the second one, but I saw the first one. But the first one I really enjoyed.
He's like Bronze Body, right? Batista plays Bronze Body or something.
He's a villain. Yeah, who else is in that movie?
I
think it's Byron Mann in it as well. I know. I'm sure there's a white guy lead character as well. I forgot who it is.
Probably, but I'm a fan of Batista's work. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Kickboxer remakes.
No.
They were once you've seen Kickboxer, the original Kickboxer, and 2, 3, and 4, right? Shout out Sasha Mitchell. It's hard to look at anything after those. But I mean,
Russell Crowe was in it.
Oh, that's right, Russell Crowe. That's right.
Quite a few people. Jamie Chung's in it. She's not. Byron Mann, who played Ryu in the Street Fighter movie.
Lucy Liu, I think, is in that too, right?
She's in it, yeah. Who else in it? Rick Yoon. I thought he was going to have a big career. Him. Eli Roth's in it as well.
He's in it, or he produced it?
No, Eli Roth plays like one of the Wolf Clan. He must be like a extra in it or something.
Speaking of Wolf Clan, did you ever see? And this ties in with America in a way. Did you ever see Dylan Dog, the Brandon Routh movie? I didn't either. I don't know that very many people did, but apparently Kurt Angle. I know Kurt Angle's in it, but he plays like a werewolf or something. So, yeah, it's based on like a graphic novel. Right. But yeah, America's favorite son, Kurt Angle, plays the werewolf with a broken freaking neck. So
fighting people with broken neck. Speaking of graphic novels, I did watch that the other night. I haven't watched it for a while. Sin City.
Oh man, Sin City's awesome.
Yeah, it's a shame the second one basically failed, but the reason for that was because
it took so long.
9 years.
Yeah, almost 2 years later.
Because it was going to do number 3, but because number 2 basically flopped, it was like, right, we're not doing number 3. And number 2, I think I've only seen it a couple of times. From what I remember, my favourite story in it was Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character. He's like the card player.
Oh, that's right.
But yeah, the first one I watched the other night, I loved it, and it's like, man, whatever happened to Clive Owen? He just like disappeared.
That's weird. Yeah, you're right. I think, yeah, I like Sin City. I actually auditioned for the first one, Sin City.
Yeah.
Yeah, for one of the goons in the car who get killed by the hookers. I think like one of the guys, like one of the goons that are in the car with like Benicio del Toro. One of the guys gets like the knife or the sword.
Yeah. There's because that's, I would say, it's probably my favorite part of the movie, like that particular story.
Oh,
yeah, and there's the jock type guy. There's the other guy. There's the other guy with like some sunglasses as well.
Yeah. I love that film. I mean, it's I think it has so many underrated performances. I mean, I think Elijah Wood is awesome in that movie. You see him in like such a different light, right? And this is like long
compared to Frodo.
Yeah, but then like later he did Maniac, and I thought Maniac was awesome. The Alexander Aja Maniac, and I love Mickey Rourke in pretty much everything that he does. Double Team. But the performance that stands out the most to me in Sin City by far is Nick Stahl as Yellow Bastard.
Yeah.
Like just the prosthetics and the acting, and just like you wouldn't even know it was him. You know what I mean? I thought he was, to me, that was my favorite part of Sin City was Nick Stahl as Yellow Bastard. He was just so gross, and it's just such a great performance. So
even Del Toro, he wore prosthetics because it looks nothing like Del Toro.
Yeah.
Jackie Boy, and I love Jackie Boy, and he's one of my favorite. Like, it's a star-studded cast from top to bottom.
Yeah, Josh Hartnett has like that little cameo at the end, right, as the assassin and stuff. And so, absolutely love it. I only saw Sin City, the second one. I only saw that once, I think, in the theater. But same thing, where it was just kind of like, man, they really lost the momentum built from all
big time.
So many amazing patriotic movies. I know that you had kind of wanted to talk about Independence Day and Born on 4th of July, which I love. Born on the 4th of July. I think that's easily one of Tom Cruise's best performances ever.
How he didn't win an Oscar for it is a joke.
Seriously. I mean, it's...
What more does he have to do?
Yeah.
The guy's literally jumping out of airplanes in real life for the Mission Impossible movies.
I mean, I've said this before. He is the textbook, like perfect. He is the movie star. He is everything you want. He is the movie star. May not be the greatest fucking actor in the world, but he's great, right? And I only say that because I remember seeing Valkyrie, and I thought, like, all these people are speaking with German accents, but he's just talking as he is. And I thought, oh, that's kind of I'm a big fan of Tom Cruise, the actor, right? I mean,
I haven't seen Top Gun Maverick yet. I need to get around to seeing it, but
I've heard great things.
When he done the red carpet, it was rather for that film, or it was just for a completely different film. I think Spielberg was there.
Okay.
And like Spielberg came up to him and like shook his hand and said, "Thank you for saving the box office, saving cinema," basically.
That's what I heard too, that it was great for cinema, right? Because it was kind of a blockbuster that America needs. And it was neat being able to utilize Val Kilmer as well. Given all issues, they were still able to utilize him. So
because I mean, growing up, like, I was starved for like superhero movies. Obviously, we had, Christopher Reeve, Superman, and you had Keaton Batman, but that was pretty much it. And then like late 90s, early 2000s, we started getting Blade and like the X-Men films. But it's like, man, I want superhero films. And then they finally started coming, and like I loved them, but now I'm just so burnt out on superhero movies now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually surprised Tom Cruise wasn't made fun of in Team America, because they had that great, Ricky Bobby 420, is talking about how he's a fan of Tom Cruise's In the Closet episode with R. Kelly, I think, was in that episode too, right? South Park, and John Travolta tries to get him to come out of the closet, and Nicole Kidman as well. So that I'm surprised he wasn't in Team America. So I'm just looking through some of these. You saw Mario, right? I see T-Man 92. Thank you for checking us out. Mario will save cinema before these jobbers. I mean, Top Gun Maverick came out before Mario did, so hard to say there. But you liked Mario.
Great. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was just no identity politics or any of that bullshit. It was just a movie about a video game character, and it was great.
Yeah. Hello, Coco. Thank you for checking us out. We should get Kid Cash on the show, see what kind of movies he's into. Let's see here. Gabe the Babe. Thank you. Checking us out.
For you.
Hitcher 82 is asking if there will be a Hero of the Prophecy. Yeah, it hasn't. We're not closing the door on that. It's still something that's it's kind of on the shelf, but it's still something that we're trying to develop. Hero of the Prophecy. We're just trying to get the right kind of funding for it and get somebody to see what we see in it. So thank you. We will see what happens. Let's see.
Paul, Jesus Safe said he's got a script. He's working with money. He's thinking about sending you the script to read if you're interested.
Don't think about it. Do it. Send it over. I would love to check it out. And let's shoot some stuff. Jesus.
That reminds me. I need to finish off my concept script for me Freddy movie.
I do too. I'm telling you.
I've nearly finished it.
Farther along than mine is.
I've nearly finished it. I've literally just got to do the nightmare scene and then the cliffhanger at the end, and I'm done. Nice. It's just like a concept one. So where you get them proof of concept. Do you remember a few years ago they done that that Tevin Tankaran, they done like Mortal Kombat Rebirth. It was like his vision for the Mortal Kombat. They brought in like Michael J. White and like
Cinema put that out.
Well, this was before that, so
Mortal Kombat
Legacy. But that's right. Well, before that, he made a 10-minute one, a 10-minute video, like short movie, essentially, to send to Warner Brothers to show what his concept idea was, his vision, and it was really like grounded and like. So I don't know how familiar you are with like Mortal Kombat characters, but Reptile was someone who was born with like a genetic condition, and like his eyeballs was born inside out. Baraka, the one with the blade in his hand, he was actually like a plastic surgeon who went crazy, so he like pierced his face and like attached his arms, whatever. Anyway, and Ian Anthony Dell was Scorpion. Ian Anthony Dell, he's disappeared. I need to get him on the show. But yeah, so he done that. He got a good reception from people, and a few people saw it. Was like, right, we won't do a movie, but we'll give you a web series, and that's what happened.
Oh wow! I mean, that's the way it starts a lot of times, right? Just kind of get that proof of concept out there, so they can get their idea of the tone that you're looking for, the look, and everything, and it takes off.
I think after that, after he done Legacy, funny enough, I actually asked Casper Van Dien when he was doing I think he was doing like an Instagram live or something. And I asked him, I said, what happened to season 3? Because he came in season 2.
That's right.
And he was doing season 3. And I said, what happened to season 3? And he says, I don't know. He said, we filmed it. He said, but they just didn't put it out. He said, but we filmed it.
So it hasn't been put out at all?
No, it just got cancelled completely. But he said we filmed it. Casper Van Dien's someone I'd love to have on this show.
Yeah, he was at my brother's wedding. He was one of my brother's wedding guests. They're
cool.
chopped. So I met him there.
He married that girl who done a lot of work with Bat in the Sun, which is a great channel. Jennifer,
Jenny
I think her name is.
Blue Wonder, I think she did like she was like a Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Cosplay, I think. But yeah. Nice lady as well. I met her at the wedding as well. Very cool people. A character I really liked in that Mortal Kombat series was one of y'all's own English actor who's since passed away. Rest in peace. Is Darren Shalavi as Kano. Yeah,
that row was cursed.
That role.
The Kano character. Well, Josh Lawson, who played him in the recent movie, he's alive and well, but that guy who played him in Legacy, he passed away, and Trevor Goddard, who played him in 95 movies, passed away as well.
Really?
Yeah, it's some people think it's cursed, but both guys, I mean, Trevor Goddard, he really didn't do anything else after that. He was like a blink and you'll miss him scene in Pirates of the Caribbean. He gets crushed by a statue. But besides that, the rose dried up, and which is amazing because I mean I love Mortal Kombat 1995, and he's great in that movie.
You're also a big fan of Annihilation, aren't you?
Hell yeah.
Starring
well, the new games is out in. They're actually filming a new Mortal Kombat movie, number 2, but the new game's out in September. So I'm like, right, to help with the algorithm, we're reviewing MK1 and Annihilation in September.
It should have better graphics than the AEW game that's come out recently, right? That everyone's cracking at.
Jesus Christ, it's terrible.
Okay, I was just curious if it was better graphics than that.
It looks amazing.
Yeah. Have you ever seen? Here's a horror movie that I don't know if very many people have seen, and hopefully we'll see in the comments if anyone's seen this. But as you know, I'm a huge, we're both big fans of horror. But the mid '90s had some great sleeper hits. One of those being Uncle Sam, horror movie. I think it was straight to video, but yeah, it's called Uncle Sam, and it's basically like the Uncle Sam. It's creepy too.
Who's it?
No one that you would know, none that I can remember. But I'm just curious if anyone else has ever seen. Mid '90s were really awesome for horror. Yeah, Uncle Sam. And I just remember this shot of him like looking in the window. He's like almost like he's on stilts or something. And he's looking in the window and creepy face. Are you looked it up? Oh, that's it. They made 2 of them. That's it. It's good stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever see the Rumpelstiltskin movie from the mid '90s?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that one's really good too. They used a little person for Rumpelstiltskin, and also a creepy mid '90s sleeper in my mind. Let's see. I'm kind of just going through some of these comments real quick. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in on this holiday, this wonderful American holiday where people blow their fingers and faces off later at night with fireworks and stupidity.
This is an American trilogy. Yeah, Back to the Future. Thoughts on it?
Yeah. The thing that always stands out to me about Back to the Future, because I'm such a huge fan of Crispin Glover, both the guy and the actor, was that Hollywood basically wrote in a law in SAG. There's a law where you can't use an actor's prosthetics or their likeness without them being attached to it, right? Because there was the big controversy with Bob Gale, one of the producers. Apparently the story goes, the original script for Back to the Future, and mind you, I love Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3. 3 is probably my least favorite.
It's for a lot of people.
Yeah, I still like it, but
I saw number 2 before I saw number 1.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I think that's why number 2 is actually my favorite.
And there's an Elijah Wood
Yeah,
cameo in what, part 1 or 2?
part
2.
two,
Part
with
2.
the arcade machine. You gotta use your hands. That's just like a baby's toy.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so the story is that, the original script, and a lot of people, I'm sure they know already that Eric Stoltz was originally cast as Marty McFly, and then early on there was just a difference in opinion on how he was doing on the script, and I think he was playing it more serious or something. I'm not really sure. But anyways, he got replaced by Michael J. Fox historically. Funny enough, I read in an interview that Ralph Macchio was approached for that role early on, but he thought it was ridiculous, and he was like, "What is plutonium pill? Like plutonium? What is this?" And he passed on. Yeah. But anyway, so the original script, at the end, Marty is happy that it's basically his family came back together and they were all united, and that's what that was really the source of his happiness, was
That's
that his
right. Yeah.
family was back together, right? So in the movie, they see, that he gets this big brand new truck, and and so I think the message got kind of muddled, that Crispin Glover apparently had a problem with it being that, there was like material value that got tacked onto what made him happy at the end, and so he didn't want to do the second one, and he didn't. And Bob Gale put out a lies, basically, that he had wanted the same money as Michael J. Fox, and that it was all about money, and tried to make Crispin Glover look really, kind of greedy or
Yeah.
whatever. And you can look it up. I mean, Crispin Glover's done several interviews clearing the air on this. So what they did was they took his prosthetics, his molds from part 1, and basically plastered his face and put it on this other actor for part 2.
It was upside down.
Yeah. And Crispin Glover ended up suing them and won. And that ended up becoming like a rule, like a law, basically, in SAG, that you can't do that. So, pretty crazy.
It makes you think what would have happened in part 2 had Glover returned, if he would have had a bigger role, because in that
Probably.
movie, George McFly is literally in for like, say, one part of the movie, really.
Right. Yeah, he's upside down on the back
Yeah.
thing, and his hair's. Yeah, it's pretty silly. Yeah, I dig those films. I think, and then you have Billy Zane, I think, in the first one as one of the bad guys,
Yeah, that's right.
and then in the second one you have Ricky Dean Logan as one of the bad guys, henchmen.
From Freddy's Dead.
Yeah, Carlos from Freddy's Dead.
Carlos.
A very cool actor as well. Yeah, I dig 1 and 2 for sure. How long have people been waiting for hoverboards to come out and be real? I mean, there was a while when people were like, they're on the verge of making them and releasing them, worldwide.
Hoverboards, I thought we'd be having flying cars by now. 2015 is nearly 10 years ago. That reminds me, by the way, when we went to Disneyland, so there was this one area. It was, and I've always thought it'd be a great concept for like a TV show. There's probably been a movie and I don't know about it, but the area was like 1930s vision of the future. So, remember back in the day when you had like the Chicago's World Fair and things like that, and this was like, this is the car of the future, this is the city of the future, and you've got them like buildings, you know what I mean? I've always thought that'd be a great concept for like a movie. There probably has been a movie like that, but I don't know about it. But even like a series, like a 1930s, but in the future, but like it from 1930s point of view, future sort of thing, as a film or TV show, have it be like set in the city. I think there was gonna be a series called, it's not Metropolis like Superman, but I think it was gonna be called like Metropolis or something like that.
Interesting. Not the famous. Is it F.W. Murnau did Metropolis?
Is it that one?
German expressionism film. Well, speaking of towns, going back to the Future, that town, that main square in Back to the Future, is the exact same town from Gremlins.
Oh well, that
It's
makes
the
sense.
same. It's the big back lot at Universal. Now, obviously, they changed a few little shop fronts and things like that up, and then they blanketed it with, fake snow for Gremlins. But yeah, it's the same exact layout, and it's the same set. Basically, it's the same back lot for Gremlins as Back to the Future. So Hill Valley, watch out! You got some Gremlins loose.
That's a coincidence as well, because Back to the Future and Gremlins is the two franchises from my childhood that hasn't been destroyed yet.
Don't put it out there.
They keep saying, let's remake Back to the Future with Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland. I'm like, no, just leave it. It's perfect how it is.
That would be. I mean, what would be a bigger blow to the childhood? Back to the Future, Gremlins, or Goonies?
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, Goonies was one and done, which is fucking rare.
I know. That way.
Yeah, that's rare. That I don't think there's ever been talk of a sequel because they just didn't need one.
Right?
Didn't you miss them days before they had to milk it to death?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. I'm trying to look through some of these comments. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in on your wonderful Tuesday.
Brendan wrote, would you agree that Tobey Maguire was the perfect Peter Parker, but okay as Spider-Man? When the suit was on and he wasn't cocky enough, Andrew Garfield was perfect Spider-Man with the suit, but cool and good-looking to be Peter Parker. Then you have Tom who can do both decently, but not a better Peter Parker than Tobey and not a better Spider-Man than Andrew. He's your favourite Spider-Man, basically.
Brandon's favorite Spider-Man is Andrew Garfield?
By the sounds of it, yeah. Well, Garfield is probably the best actor. I love Tobey, but Garfield is a great actor.
I'm Tobey Maguire, man, all the way. I know
Tobey's a badass.
but yeah.
Have you seen that video of him at the airport?
Where he's staring down the paparazzi and
like Tobey is like a proper pimp in real life. Like he's just a bad boy in real life. But yeah, there's Andrew and Tom, they're waving and Tobey's like proper like staring them down.
Jesus. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I've seen him yelling at paparazzi before.
Get off the fucking car! Get off the car!
Yeah, that one. I just saw that one recently. Actually, it's pretty funny. Let's see who else is. I'm just trying to go through some of these comments real quick. Yes, Naked Lunch by Cronenberg is really awesome. Thank you, George.
Never seen Cabin in the Woods, Paul?
With Batista, right? Oh no.
No, with Hemsworth.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was Hemsworth right before he blew up.
Right? Really, yeah. It was just after he'd done 4, but before he blew up.
Woods. I saw it once at the theater, and I thought it was okay. I didn't love it, but I thought it was okay.
How about those back to the Future? How about them self-lacing shoes?
The self-lacing shoes. Did y'all have the shoes over there there was like a little dial on the tongue, and you would twist the dial, and it would tighten the laces?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was almost like the laces were like a cable, and it had this little button like dial thing on the tongue, and you would twist it, and it would tighten the laces. It's kind of strange.
Like my kids, I just wear anything, but my kids always have fancy, well, we call them trainers, you call them sneakers. They've always got fancy ones, but they've got some now. You lift the tongue up, put your foot in, and it's like the laces is like elasticated, so they automatically tighten up.
Oh, strange.
Yeah, so they don't even need to learn how to tie the shoes. I don't think they know how to tie the shoes. They don't need to.
I don't know if that's
I don't think it's great.
Yeah, they should learn to tie their shoes. I think that's an important trait
Oh
for
man,
all.
he can throw roundhouse kicks. He's fine. He actually tonight he was laying in there spinning roundhouse kicks, so that was pretty awesome.
Oh man.
Yeah, because like they do it step by step. They don't, like I said to you off camera, like the steps and the grades, what they do, they don't
Yeah.
automatically go from white belt to black belt like in Cobra Kai. There's actually grades and belts in between. I love Cobra Kai, everyone. I can't wait for season 6. But if you notice in Cobra Kai, everyone's a black belt, even the kids who are terrible, and the
Yeah,
characters are meant to be
they show
terrible.
up all of a sudden. They're like, "You should join the dojo," and then like next thing you know, they're in the tournament as a black belt. It's like only a couple
It's like
months. What the hell
Kenny,
is?
like my kids like Kenny, but Kenny goes from like me kids when they first started training to all of a sudden quarterfinals of the Old Valley up against Robbie and competing against them.
I can't do it. I can't do. I mean, the adults. I can take a few of the adults in Cobra Kai, but I can't stand any of the kids.
Yeah.
I just can't. So
Oh, Ricky Bobby. Yeah, it's like when I was telling you about like the future, like from a 1930s point of view.
right.
I don't know if you ever heard of Fallout video game.
Yeah, it's too
Great
advanced.
game. I was obsessed with number 3. So it's set like 1930s, 1940s, well 40s or 50s even, and basically the World War III happens basically. So there's these underground vaults, and so all these families get rushed into these vaults, and they live underneath there, till the radiation like passes over and stuff like that. It's great. It's like Fallout 3. I didn't want to leave the vault because I'm like, I was interested in the stories happening around the vault, but something happens and you go to the desert wasteland, and each game is set different states. So 3, fuck, I think
Was that
3
like
was
Blood
Russian.
Dragon or something?
What?
3 was like something dragon or blood something.
No, that's Far Cry.
Oh, that's right, Far Cry. Great music in Far
Yeah.
Cry.
Well,
It's
Blood Dragon. I'm
video
sure
game.
Michael Biehn does the voice for the main character.
Oh, really? Michael Bihn's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. I'll tell you who I will give a shout out tonight to. Podcast, Cheap Heat Productions. I think he's interviewing Clint Howard today.
No way, Ice Cream Man.
Yeah, man. So
Another for you, Ice Cream Man.
I remember him in the Wraith. Charlie Sheen.
Oh yeah, the motorcycle thing.
No, well, is there motorbikes in it? Or they're just racing in cars, but it's like the Wraith. What it is, he gets killed by this gang. Yeah, but he's racing. He's in the car.
Oh, okay.
Clint Howard lifts up the bonnet, or the whatever you call it, and the engine's like all lights up in his face. It's like all these blue lights and that, and he's looking and he's like surprised. But no, because his character, Charlie Sheen's character, gets killed, and he's played by a different actor. So then he comes into town, strikes up a friendship with this one guy who's actually his brother, but now he looks like Charlie Sheen. And he tries to get his old girlfriend back and things like that, but he's trying to get his revenge on like this gang who essentially killed him.
Okay.
Set like mid 80s. Well, Clint Howard's like a teenager in it, so it gives you an idea.
Yeah,
I think his character's meant to be a teenager, or he's like late teens, early 20s. It's a great film. Who's in it as well?
Now, right? He's always looked the way that he does.
Yeah, man. Even I saw pictures of him as a baby.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He also appeared in one of our favorite horror video game adaptations, House of the Dead.
I've never seen that.
Oh man, it's so bad it's good. It's Uwe Ball movie.
I'll tell you what my boys are looking forward to. Are you aware of Five Nights at Freddy's?
I've seen the trailer for that.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard's in it, and is it Josh Hutcherson?
Yeah, Josh Hutcherson. Yeah, it looks good. I don't know anything. Is it a game? I guess it's based on a game.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like a mobile game or a PlayStation game, but basically, like, I've never played them, but my kids do. I'm a terrible father. I let them play anything. Yeah. So essentially, so you guys have like Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
So when people's having their food, there's like these animatronics basically. But apparently these kids get killed by this guy who owned the place. And rather their spirits or their souls it gets put into like these animatronics and they want revenge. So they start killing people. And I think that's what the plot is. I'm not sure. They know more than me.
Got off of the trailer. Before there was
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese, we had Showbiz Pizza.
Right.
And then Showbiz Pizza morphed into Chuck E. Cheese. Those animatronics are super expensive. I don't know if you've ever seen, like, there are people that collect those and then rehab them and get them working again, but they're thousands, if not some of them tens, 20, 30,000, thousands and thousands of dollars for these relics, these old animatronics.
It's amazing what things are worth money because, like, even like classic pinball machines are super expensive. Especially like, I would love to get the Terminator 2 pinball machine, but I'm looking, I'm like, wow, this is like $10,000 and $12,000.
Yeah. Whenever you come out to America, we'll go to Vegas, and they have a very cool pinball. It's not really. It's kind of like a museum, but it's like an arcade. I mean, the games are all active, but it's a really awesome pinball arcade in Las Vegas. That's really a lot of fun. I think they have the Terminator 2 game in there, but yeah, that is the classic one. That one. The Addams Family one's always fun. I'm trying to think. There was like a Universal Monsters one that was really good too for pinball.
Star Wars one.
Yeah. On Elm Street.
Whenever I think of pinball machine, I can't help but think of is it Rocky 3, where Paulie smashes it.
Oh,
at the beginning of the movie, Rocky 3. Where's my digit? And then Rocky's like, well, what do you want, Paulie? I just want a job.
Burt Young. Have you ever
Paulie.
seen the martial arts masterpiece known as Excessive Force?
Which one's that? Who's in that one?
It's written by and starring Thomas Ian Griffith, Terry Silver.
Oh, I've seen that one. Is it Tony Todd in it with him?
Yeah, Tony Todd's in it.
Yeah, I enjoy that. Yeah, I've only seen it once.
Yeah, Lance Henriksen and Burt Young, and very underrated mid 90s martial arts actioner. Great end credit song too. Yeah, I love those. Those movies are. I'm telling you, the 90s have so many sleepers on them. But for horror, when Scream came out in like 96, that's kind of what really shifted the game. But I think we've talked about it before, but one of my favorite mid 90s, or I guess late 90s, came out in 99, was Carrie 2, The Rage. Such a guilty pleasure.
I think that's on Amazon or Netflix. I think I came across it the other night.
Check it out. Watch it. It's pretty cool. It's not really a good movie, but it's fun. Yeah. And I think Zachary Ty Bryan is like one of the bad guys, and Jason London is in it, and it's a fun movie. It's not as iconic, obviously, as the first Carrie. I didn't see the Carrie remake.
It wasn't great.
Did you see the remake?
Yeah, I did, unfortunately.
Oh no. So
it's but no. Yeah, I came across this story. They found cocaine in the White House.
Really?
Yeah. Well, Joe Biden getting his rocks off. Well, yeah, it's called the White House. The crack house.
Have you ever seen Elvis and Nixon? Have you seen that movie with Michael Shannon as Elvis Presley?
No.
And a frowned upon actor Kevin Spacey as Richard Nixon. Frowned upon for Valid reasons. We're not defending Kevin Spacey here. He's a creep. But it's really phenomenal. And you think Michael Shannon as Elvis, how's that going to work? But it's incredible. It's and what's his name? Colin Hanks has a role in it as well as one of Nixon's advisors. But it's it's fictional, but it's an account of that meeting that Elvis had with Richard Nixon at the White House, where he basically just kind of showed up at the White House and was able to get himself in to meet Nixon, and was trying to get anointed as like a government undercover agent, basically, to help infiltrate the drug scene in America, to help save the American youth from going down the drain. And he's, kind of talking about how the Beatles.
Yeah, he hated the Beatles.
Yeah. And
he hated the Beatles.
Right. So, but I highly recommend this movie. It's Elvis and Nixon with Michael Shannon and Kevin Spacey. It's terribly underrated, and I think it's one of Michael Shannon's best performances. He's a great actor. I mean, he's one of my favorite actors. Amazing as God, right? We loved him, and a lot of people seem to not like Man of Steel, but I loved it. I really liked it.
I think what it is, and people loves it now, especially with Henry Cavill, and obviously he's gone now as Superman. I think the one scene people don't like is when he breaks Sod's neck.
Right.
And they're like, Superman would never do that. So I understand it from that point of view. Rest of the film's great. The only thing that doesn't make sense is that, if I've got this right, like Zod and like his minions, they want to terraform the Earth to be like Krypton. But I'm thinking, if they do it that way, does that mean they don't have their powers anymore? Something like that. I got confused with.
I don't know.
But no, I liked it. I love Henry Cavill. It's a shame, it's a role he always wanted, but they basically like to go in this new direction. He's off now to make his own Warhammer movie because he's a big Warhammer fan. I've never played it.
Yeah,
but because I hit.
Oh, go ahead.
I heard the story that him, Ben Affleck, and possibly what's the girl called now? He played Wonder Woman, the hot one.
Gal Gadot.
That's the one. They're on about like forming a little team to sue Warner Brothers or whatever because they signed up for like these contracts. It was promised like 3 or 4 movies. Ben Affleck was promised a Batman movie where he could direct as well, and they never received them. And they've lost roles because they thought these movies was going to happen and stuff. So it's schedule. Well, yourself, like scheduling conflicts. So well,
let's promote Ezra Miller and his freakazoid self. Let's leave that. Yes, I mean same thing with they basically shot and completed the Batgirl. Was it a series or
a movie? I think. Who played the villain in it?
We're gonna just shelf it forever.
Brendan Fraser. I'm sure he played the villain.
Really? In Batgirl?
I'm sure he played a villain. He was in it. I know he was in it.
Yeah. But it makes no sense, like how are you going to spend millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
We're good. We're not going to show it after all. Like that just makes no sense to me at all.
Well, I hate to sound anti-woke and stuff, but Miller is part of a certain community, so they will bend over backwards for that certain demographic.
Regardless of all the horrible press he receives, too, right?
He kidnapped some fucking children. And Johnny Depp gets false allegations made against him, loses his biggest role in his career, and millions of, millions over false allegations. But yet, someone who's actually kidnapped kids is awarded films. The world's, like I said, we live in a South Park episode.
Hold on, I'm just looking at the comments real quick, and I see, yes, Michael Shannon is terribly underrated. He's an amazing actor. Michael Shannon, actually, if you remember Groundhog Day, that's where he first appeared on screen, was in Groundhog Day, and he just has one little bit where he's the guy, he's the newlywed, and they get the WrestleMania tickets, and he's like, WrestleMania tickets! That's Michael Shannon.
Film he's I'll tell you a good film he's in. Not a big role at all.
Shelter.
It's called 13. I think it's called
13. I don't think I've seen it.
It's a bit of an indie film, I think. I don't know, but it's not a big film. He's in it. 50 Cent's in it. Ray Winston. I forgot who else is in it, but it's this young kid, early 20s. He gets drawn into this game to get money. It's basically Russian roulette, but there's like 13 people, and each one's got a gun to the back of the head, like a revolver, and each gun's got like, one bullet. Michael Shannon is kind of like the guy who's organizing it, and he's like the gamekeeper basically, and he's he's like, spin your chambers, and each round keeps getting played till there's like one person left. It's actually a good film, but no one's heard of it.
13. I'll have to look that one up.
I'm sure it's called 13.
He was also in a movie that overlooked. That I have a funny story about real quick. I'm just kind of looking through the comments. Yes, Henry Cavill was in a Hellraiser movie. I think it was Hellworld. I think that was the one that he with Lance Henriksen. And then I've seen that.
Every time I see Lance Henriksen in like a shit movie, I'm like, Lance, you're too good for this, man.
Oh, come on, man. He's soaking it up while he's still with us, thankfully. Looks like Warner Brothers. It's a big tax write-off. That's what I'm seeing from several pictures. Not sure, and Forgotten MMA. Thank you. Yeah, I could believe that. So it's a big tax write-off. Ben Affleck possibly coming back as Daredevil in the new Deadpool. That would be interesting. I like
UK comedy. In Between Us and Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah, I liked his Daredevil. He's no love to shit on it.
I like it.
Luther Reigns as one of.
Luther Reigns in it.
Yeah, he's one of.
Must be a henchman or something.
And my buddy Tom Howard, they're the guards for Kingpin. I haven't
watched it for a long time.
But going back to Michael Shannon, he was in a movie that I really liked. It was either early 2000, I think, with Henry Thomas and with God, now I'm blanking on his name, Mark Boone Jr. And it was called Dead Birds, and it was like a goth horror film. And it's funny because I met Mark Boone Jr. at a gas station once, and he was filling up his Harley, and I never watched Sons of Anarchy. I
love it.
Wasn't my thing, right? So anyway, on the gas station, and I'm like, hey, because I think Mark Boone Jr. is one of those great actors that if you don't know his name, you're always like, oh, it's that guy, right?
You know it, yeah.
Dark Knight, or Batman Begins. I'm sorry.
Begins.
Yeah. So I'm like, I loved you in Dead Birds, and it was one of those things where I was kind of expecting him to, kind of like, oh, thanks, and he was like, he takes the gas pump, he takes the thing out of his motorcycle, and he goes, Dead Birds? Really? What did you like about it? And I'm like, oh shit! Like I'm sitting here trying to remember the movie. I'm like, oh, it was just, it was like. I just, I really liked the look of it, and I thought it was pretty original. And he's like, yeah, that was pretty good. I liked it. And I was like, yeah, Michael Shannon, he's like really good. And he goes, oh yeah, he's good. He's good. What else did you like about it? I was just like, well, it was just like, it was really original, and then like I was trying to like really struggle to remember, but we ended up having this conversation for like 15, 20 minutes. At this gas pump, and he was just a really cool guy. But then he was like, we started talking about wrestling and stuff. And
cool.
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys that you can put in pretty much any movie in a role. Actually, I think he's in John Carpenter's Vampires, isn't he? He is from Thomas Ian Griffith.
Yeah. He's coming over here soon.
Excessive Force. Who is John Carpenter?
No,
Not
Boone. He's
yeah.
there's a Comic-Con in August next month. It's about an hour away from me. Quite a few people's coming, so he's coming over. Kim Coates, who's also in Sons of
Oh,
Anarchy.
awesome. Oh
Well, there
man,
you
I'm
go.
a Kim Coates fan.
Kim Coates
Uh,
coming over. Tommy Flanagan.
okay.
He's from Sons. He's in quite. Funny enough, I was watching Sin City the other night. I was like, "Fucking hell, that's Tommy Flanagan." He's in it as
Oh,
well.
did he?
He's the Irish. Yeah, he's the Irish. Well, I don't know. I think he's Irish in the movie, but he's Scotch in real life. He's in the sewer, and what do you call it? He's got the face to face with Clive Owen's character,
Okay.
and flipping. The Chinese girl. She comes up, Japanese, my mistake. She comes up behind him and like puts the sword through him. He's like an explosions. Anyway, they're coming over.
Something Aoki, that girl.
That's it, Devon. Yeah,
Yeah, I think she's related to the Benihana Empire.
yeah. Miho, I think her character's name is. Well, she stabs him from behind, but yeah, he's coming over. Back
Gonna
to the
go?
Future, funny. Back to the Future, funny enough. Claudia Wells, who played the original girlfriend.
Yeah.
The guy who played what's the principal called? Strickland.
Oh yeah, from Master of the Universe.
Yeah,
God, I'm
James something
James
he's called.
Bolton.
That's it. He's
Yeah.
coming over. The guy who played Marvin Berry's cousin, like the singer
Yeah.
at the Dance Enchantment, and the guy who played the future mayor, Goldie Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're coming over, but there's quite a few actors there who's going to be there. Yeah,
Little comic, man.
yeah, he's going to be there as well. Who played Mr. Fantastic in the first Fantastic Four movie, or the first two?
Is that
Ewan, yeah, he's a great actor.
Yeah, I like him a lot too.
So a few people's going to be there.
Very nice.
Here's a good question, Paul.
What do we got?
We've had Freddy 3 Jason. Who would you like to see in the next versus slasher movie? His would be Freddy 3 Wishmaster.
Freddy vs. Wishmaster would be pretty awesome because they have such similar abilities. I'm a huge Wishmaster fan. It's, to me, one of the most underrated. I think it came out in '97. Brian Kurtzman directed that. I think that was, Brian Kurtzman. Basically, the entire K&D team is on this film. Greg Nicotero is the second unit director. If you haven't seen Wishmaster, starring Andrew Divoff, whose birthday was I think a couple days ago, it's one of the most underrated horror films I can think of. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. Don't bother with the sequels. They're there. But the first one has basically a who's who from the horror film genre in it. I mean, you have Robert Englund basically without makeup, just as he is. You have Kane Hodder. You have Tony Todd. You have Reggie Bannister. You have Buck Flower. You have Angus Scrimm doing the prologue voiceover.
Oh yeah.
At the beginning. It's awesome. Actually, Vern Troyer has a little cameo in there as kind of the Wishmaster when he gets birthed into the modern day scene, an explosion in the laboratory, and he's like a half a person, kind of like this little tadpole looking thing, and he's like squirming towards the sky. That's Vern Troyer. Ted Raimi. It's just awesome, and it's neat to see a lot of these horror icons as victims for once. Pretty nuts. There's somebody else that appears. I can't remember who, but yeah, Wishmaster. I highly recommend it. The effects were incredible. Actually, a friend of mine, Pete Atkins, wrote Wishmaster, wrote the screenplay.
Oh, you said,
So that'd be really neat to get Pete on here someday, especially from his involvement with Clive Barker and having written Hellraiser 3 and 4. I think he might have helped on 2 somewhat, but he's appears in part 3 as
The good ones, basically.
Yeah. I love I love Hellraiser 3. And that's always
1 to 4 I enjoy, but after that, it's basically Hellraiser films that wasn't Hellraiser films. They just stuck the name on.
4 got ravaged so badly by
Yeah.
scenes. They basically wanted to put Pinhead in as many frames as possible, and poor Kevin Yagher, that was his directorial debut, and I think I'm hoping he's directed stuff since then, but took his name off the project, and I want to say that was one of the last films credited to Alan Smithy, which is a pseudonym that directors would put on a movie that they don't want to be associated with. Young Adam Scott, I think, in his film debut.
That's right, yeah.
Right, as Jacques.
Who played Angelique?
I can't remember her name. She was really good, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
They ended up putting out either a graphic novel or the original screenplay. One of those two. I remember Pete Atkins, they put it out so that you could see what the movie was supposed to be. And I want to say they put it out last year. And that would be interesting to check that out because, I had the pleasure of working with Kevin Yagher on a pilot with Dana Carvey over, this is like maybe 2011, maybe 2010. And he was the makeup guy on this little pilot that we did for this show that Dana Carvey was headlining and never took off. It was called Dana Carvey's Spoofs. And I looked at the call sheet and saw Kevin Yagher on the call sheet. And I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. There's no way. And sure enough, it was him. And I went to the makeup trailer and I was like, oh my God, like you've given me so many nightmares. Oh, really? Freddy? Chucky? Like who? And I was like, yeah, all of them, So that was really cool. But yeah, that was his directorial debut was Hellraiser 4. Hellraiser 4 Bloodlines. That was the tagline.
She plays present day wife of what's the main character called in it again?
He spans like several time zones, right?
Yeah. Well, the present day one, the girl who played his wife was the girl in Elm Street 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What's it called? Elm Street 2 now. It's one of them, names. Lisa. Lisa.
Kim something, right?
Sorry?
I think her first name is Kim.
Oh, yeah, the actress name's Kim, but I think a character in Elm Street was called Lisa.
Lisa, yeah.
Yeah, right. She plays the wife in Bloodlines.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that at the theater. And, I didn't like it nearly as much as 3. I think 2 is pretty pretty underrated as well. 2, a lot of people would think is kind of the best of the series in terms of just pacing and effect and story and everything. I think it's pretty awesome. I didn't see the new Hellraiser that they did. I haven't
seen that. I might. Well, I'm doing cafe after this, so I'm not gonna have time to watch it tonight.
No, fine. We'll start wrapping up. I mean, I'm grateful.
I'm fine for a little bit. I'm fine.
Everyone tuning in and hanging out with us. Hopefully, again, happy 4th of July to everyone. At least, especially those that are celebrating it. Rex is back. I like Mel Gibson too. I'm a fan. I like his work.
See his new movie coming out.
No, which one?
It's basically going to expose Hollywood. It's him and Jim
Oh,
Caviezel.
did Mel get? He's a Sounds of Silence or something like that, or
Sounds of Freedom or something like that. I think it's called Sound of Freedom.
Sounds of Silence.
Yeah, Sounds of Silence. No, it's a movie, but it's a movie about child trafficking.
Yeah, it's based. It's based on a real guy who's part of the Underground Railroad, something like that whole group that fights against human trafficking. Broken Ascendancy liked the new Hellraiser movie. Sorry, so I probably will check it out. Yeah, I want to see Sounds of Freedom. I do. I like Jim Caviezel, even though he's kind of become a bit of a religious nut job. I still like him. I think he's a fine actor.
But there's like scenes like how like actors or actresses like who's part of all of this, and they use like their fame to get these things done. But yeah, it's now it all happens, about the pizza and stuff like that. We won't go too much into it, but look it up, everyone. So at your own leisure. Let's try to think. A lot of Elm Street love here. I'm just trying to catch up on some of them, but yeah, it's someone said I was on about that 13 movie. It's like Ray Winston and 50 Cent together. That's random as fuck. It is.
Yeah, gotta check that out.
It's not a bad film. I've only watched it once, I think, but I remember it, and I think it's on Amazon or something. What do you call it? Mad Max movies. Thoughts on them, Paul?
I only saw. Well, I liked both. I liked the Mel Gibson ones. I did see the Tom Hardy one, which I liked. I thought that was pretty underrated as well, especially for all the stunt work that went on in that Mad Max movie. But
him and Charlize Theron hated each other working on that film.
Really?
Yeah, they did not like each other at all.
I think Nathan Jones is in that too.
Yeah, he's Rictus Erectus.
Yeah. But let's see. Yeah, I liked the Mad Max movies. Master Blaster, all that kind of stuff. I think
that's something we need to bring that's something we need to bring up, by the way. So I think it was our second episode or our third episode. We done the review on the Warlock.
Yeah.
And then last few days, I sent you the message over the fact they found
the remains. I know, and they identified. Yeah, it's Julian Sands. It's really sad. I mean, on one end, happy the family will have some closure, but it's still absolutely depressing all around. What a fine actor. Very iconic actor, at least to me, especially. I know to a lot of other people as well. I think I like Warlock 2 actually better than the first Warlock. I know that we covered Warlock 1. And hopefully in time we'll be able to really go in depth on Warlock 2 as well. But either which way, very sad turn of events. But you look at it and you think kind of like God, sorry, I'm blanking. What's his name? The Australian animal specialist.
Steve Irwin.
Yeah, I mean, it's like these guys died doing something they're very passionate about, but it's not making it any better, but at the same time it's
like Paul Walker as well. Like Paul Walker loved cars, and unfortunately what happened with him, and it's weird how sometimes these things, what they love, leads to their end. Basically, it's sad and
Very sad.
yeah, and man, if ever like I was making a movie, like Julian Sands, like he'd be one of the first people, like because I would love to get because the guy was a great actor.
Yeah, he was great.
Great in Smallville, played Sorrel. He had a great couple of episodes in the Gotham series. He played the Scarecrow's father in it, which I loved.
Oh, interesting. So he played Lex Luthor's father.
No, he played Clark Kent. Kal-El.
Was he Kal-El?
Tom Welling is Superman's
he was
Kal-El.
Father for some reason. Okay, so he was, but still the father of two pretty obviously Superman's on a different level than Scarecrow. But actually, speaking of Scarecrow, one of my great friends, Chris from Bulletproof Action, gifted me this sweet ass Scarecrow from Super Friends. Yeah, that's a nice one. Very cool. But yeah, if you haven't seen any of the Warlock films, I highly recommend them. Part 2 is a little faster in pace, done by Anthony Hickox, who directed Waxwork and Hellraiser 3. But yeah, very sad. I will pour one out for Julian Sands. But we won't end this on a down note. So, I did see, actually, going back to Fast and Furious, I saw a clip recently with Timothy Oliphant where he was talking about how he passed on.
Yeah, it's Retro.
You see that? As I think
as
the
Vin Diesel character.
The Vin Diesel character, right? But he had just done Gone in 60 Seconds too, which was at the theater when I worked there.
Great.
And I never actually fully saw Gone in 60 Seconds, but I'm a big Oliphant fan. I've seen bits of it. You know what I mean? When I was supposed to be working, and I was watching the movies.
It is a good film.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to check it out, but I thought that was interesting. And I'm glad, Timothy Oliphant, like he's an awesome actor. I'm a big, huge
I've been watching Justified recently, and he's really good in that.
Yeah.
Pretty good in that. And like movie performances, he's got a lot of range. One of the films I love him in, and it's just it's a dumb film, but it's a great film. Girl Next Door.
Oh yeah, actually, Renee and I saw that at the theater together.
Oh, he said that, yeah.
And Renee developed this crazy obsession with Alicia Cuthbert. And that might have been the first time I saw
Horseshoe.
Well, yeah, he was Horseshoe. God, I'm blanking on his name actually now.
Emile Hirsch, and was he the lead in that film?
Yeah, he's the main.
He's disappeared, hasn't he?
Yeah, and also the Riddler from the recent Batman movie.
Paul Dano.
Yeah, Paul Dano is one of the.
I finally finished that movie.
The Batman?
Yeah.
I couldn't finish it. I got bored.
It's all right. It's nowhere near the worst movies, but it's just depressing.
A Penguin spinoff?
I've been doing a Penguin TV show. Paul Dano's Riddler, to me, felt like it didn't feel like he was the lead villain, even though he was. He came across as like he was going to be the fall guy, and there'd be like this mastermind behind him.
Yeah,
but it was just depressing. And like, I love Nirvana, but Nirvana's playing in the background. You got sepia tone throughout the whole movie.
Sure.
He played Batman all right, but as a Bruce Wayne, he was just miserable. And
yeah,
I've been watching the Batmans. They're all on YouTube. The classic Batman the animated series from the early 90s.
Sure,
they're all on there. They're great. And I've been watching some videos recently, like what was the plot for Tim Burton's third Batman film, and like there was some other ones where Paul Dini, who done the animated series, he was going to do a film. There was also going to be a Batman Beyond film, which I've been waiting for years. Batman's my favorite superhero of all time. Simple as that. But I'm watching it, and it was just, there was no charm, there was no funny moments. Like, even, all your Batmans, like your Michael Keaton, even though it was gothic, and he still would smile from time to time. Even like when he defeated like a bad guy, he'll smile to himself. But this was
Yeah.
just so depressing. It wasn't a bad film, but I wouldn't go out my way to watch it again. I don't know what they'll do going forward, but yeah, it was not the best.
Yeah, I like Robert Pattinson. I think he's a fine actor. I think he's, really good. But yeah, just something about it. It's when you have so
Well,
many different actors playing an iconic
well,
character, you can't help
the
but
big
start comparing them.
the big
And,
rumor. So obviously James Gunn's took over DC basically,
right.
like the movies. The big rumor is that Jensen Ackles is going to play Batman.
See, I like that. I like Jensen
I do.
Ackles. Yeah.
Early to mid 40s. They're on about having the Bat family, so perhaps like Nightwing might be in his 20s. Obviously, you got Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and you got like Damian Wayne. Jensen, he actually done like a a meet and greet, and he was on stage, and someone said, "Is it true you're going to play Batman?" He started laughing, and he said, "Well, nothing's happening yet because of this writer script, but." Would I like to play my favorite superhero of all time? Oh, I don't know, man. A little bit too much hard work. but but yeah, I mean, honestly, because he's done the voice of Batman, and he also done the voice of Red Hood in one of the DC animated films.
Okay.
So he does voice work, and I loved him in Supernatural, and he played. I haven't seen The Boys season 3, but he plays Soldier Boy, I think he's called. But they say he's
Yeah,
great
yeah.
in it. But yeah, I think he would play a great Bruce Wayne because he can be funny, and he can play serious if he wants to.
Right. Yeah. I like his work. He was in it'll be interesting to see if they keep his work from Rust. I know that they just recently started they might have finished shooting Rust. I know they moved the location from New Mexico to Montana. But he was on set for that whole Alec Baldwin incident with the gun and everything because he was one of the main characters in Rust. So I don't know, but I haven't seen him on any of the stuff that I've seen for it picking up again in Montana. I know that Jake Busey got added to that cast, so that should be interesting. But I do like Jensen Ackles. I'm
Some
going through some
some
comments.
some people says he's too much of a TV actor. Well,
I see that.
Chris Hemsworth came from Home and Away. Okay,
But,
so
but
I'll just
American
say that
in a way is right. It's like one of those weird soaps in Australia.
Australian soap show, and his
Yeah.
character's name was Kim. Okay, some
Um,
people like John Hamm would be great. John Hamm would be great, but he's too old now. And just because
yeah.
he's got the jawline doesn't mean he'd be a good Batman.
Yeah.
Someone said Carl Urban. Carl Urban's apparently playing Johnny Cage in the next Mortal Kombat movie.
Really? That'd be
Yeah, I've heard
interesting.
he's been casted for it.
That would be something else. I'm still wanting another Dread movie. Um,
I mean,
I
I
love,
wish we could get another Dread movie or TV series of it.
yeah, I loved that movie. A buddy of mine produced that, Adi Shankar, who also was one of the producers on Dirty Laundry. Did you ever see that? Thomas Jane Punisher follow-up? I'll leave y'all with this. I highly recommend it, but there's a short on YouTube. You can probably check it out. It's called Dirty Laundry, and it's Thomas Jane kind of continuing his Frank Castle take from Punisher. It's kind of like how they want it, how they see it. You know what I mean? So it's a pretty cool little short film called Dirty Laundry with Thomas Jane doing his Frank Castle bit because I liked his Punisher, regardless of how goofy a lot of that movie was with John Travolta and it being in Florida and kind of all this weird stuff. Because I guess that was like that was the only way that John Travolta would do it, was if they shot it in Florida,
Yeah.
so he could fly his planes and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. We're gonna wrap this up. We're at 90 minutes. I got to take a hard, long cider piss, and I'm sure it's getting kind of late there. But I don't know. Any final words? Anything you want anybody to check out?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys and girls enjoyed it, please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. There's a lot of familiar names I can see, and some new people here. So thanks very much for tuning in.
Great. Yeah.
I did say to Paul, like, when I get back from France, the mission is to try and bring out an episode every week. So we'll see if we can. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers. So we're at like 970 something. So we're so close.
Yeah. No, thank you again. Yeah, everyone for tuning in. I'm sorry we couldn't get to every single comment. We're really grateful for all you spending your 90 minutes with us. And it's really encouraging, and it's a lot of fun, especially for us to talk about the movies that we enjoy, the projects, the actors that we all enjoy.
I love doing the movie reviews, but I actually enjoy doing this more because we just talk about random movies. That going forward, I don't know whether we should just do these and then once a week or like an additional episode in the week do an interview with someone from the movie world, or because I know there's people I can get easily from Nightmare on Elm Street and all these people. I know I can get them
in my back pocket as well, but I'd be happy to bring on board. So yeah, we're gonna try and keep upping the variety here. I keep saying it, but I need to start doing some of these filming location deals. Hopefully that'll be of interest to the listeners. If there's any kind of things that y'all might want to see more of, please feel free to put it in the comments. As James mentioned, the likes and the subscriptions are we're very thankful for all you subscribers and for all you tuning in. And if y'all are celebrating 4th of July, have fun. I hope y'all get plenty to eat. Make sure to lather up that sunscreen. I need to go put some more on myself. And if you're using fireworks or any of that kind of stuff, or if you're drinking heavily, give your keys to a friend. Try not to get behind the wheel, please, because there's enough morons and idiots out there doing that. So, and watch your fingers and your face. Make sure you don't blow them off, because then you won't be able to type comments on here or tune in to our
use your nose.
yeah. Well, they don't blow their nose off too. These videos of these goofballs with fireworks, I'm gonna hold the rocket right here. It's working. So
one of my funny enough, I'd like to leave it off this one. It's not so much a firework, but similar. There's a picture of Star Wars, the original one, and someone. If you take a picture at a certain time, when Obi-Wan gives Luke the lightsaber. Luke is looking at the lightsaber like that. Mark Hamill said, "I hate it whenever someone brings up that photo."
Wow, that would have been funny though, to have Obi-Wan kind of grab his hand and turn it and be like, "No." Oh. No. James, thank you, man. I really appreciate the time and the talk, as always. Hey, happy 38th birthday to Newfoundland Dragon Pyro. 38th birthday tomorrow. So happy early birthday to you. Especially don't do fireworks or any of that kind of nonsense, because then you won't be able to light your candles or open your gifts. Yeah, and I'm not saying don't enjoy fireworks, but just be careful, please. Everyone, be careful, because you're all cherished here at Cinemarks.
Yep.
And without you guys and girls, we wouldn't have a channel. So thank you again. Like and subscribe, all that kind of bullshit. And if there's things y'all want to see, let us know. until then, we will be back hopefully sooner than later and keep the ball rolling. So,
cool.
Happy 4th of July with a broken friggin' neck. And until next time.
See you, everyone.
All right, guys.